Well, hi there, everybody. Good morning. Meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Monday morning, January 2nd. Some of you, or many of you, probably getting an extra day off today because the holiday yesterday falling on a weekend. But we've got a lot going on out there starting today and continuing tonight and tomorrow. We do have a lot of advisories and warnings out there, and in fact, a rare, you don't see this very often, an ice storm warning. Ice storm warnings are really only issued when you're talking more significant ice, over 1/4 of an inch of ice. Well, parts of northeast, east central Nebraska are included in this, and this starts at noon today, continues until 6 o'clock tomorrow night. This actually only includes one county in the local 4 viewing area, and that is Butler County. That said, I do have some viewers around the Columbus area and those locations here. And that side, it's not like it's a sharp drop off. Even as you go back here just to the southwest, there's still going to be some pretty decent icing with this here. But also covering the icing, and there will also maybe be a little snow in the tail end of the system right in here as well, by the way. But also covering the chance of some ice and eventually a little bit of snow as well, this winter weather advisory right in here. Already started here and goes till 6 o'clock tomorrow morning in southwest Nebraska. It goes until, it's in effect now and goes until noon for south central Nebraska, north central Kansas. And then southeast Nebraska, this won't even get going until 6 o'clock tonight, and it continues until 6 o'clock tomorrow night. But then notice the pink right here, and that does include Grand Island, Kearney, Imperial, Aurora, Osceola, Fullerton, Albion, Neely, O'Neill, all the way up here into northern and western Nebraska here. It's already in effect here for most, it's pretty much almost all in effect for almost everybody. Not quite everybody, but almost everybody, and continues until noon tomorrow. But some of these areas, this could be ice mixed with some snow. The snow chances are going to, or the snow amounts are going to quickly ramp up as you go to the northwest though. Heavy snow, probably not a lot of icing here, but heavy snow. Your icing line is probably going to be about right here from O'Neill to North Platte, southeastward to right in this area here. Okay? So there's a lot going on. I know it's very complicated. Let's play out the RPM, or the FutureCast graphic here. So this is kind of right now, and again, we've seen some snow accumulation already out in western Nebraska and a little bit up north as well. So this is actually matching up pretty well with what's actually going on. Meanwhile, freezing rain or just plain old rain right in here. Let's play this out through this morning. So here's noon today. Now for the Tri-Cities, it's going to be a very fine line between rain and freezing rain. The temperature may actually stay above freezing most of today, and so this could be more rain than anything. Again, with rain and freezing rain, the only difference between the two is if the surface temperature is at 32 degrees or colder or not. And again, it's going to be probably above freezing in the Tri-Cities most of the day, and then to the south and east. So mostly rain, but then as you get into the colder air, freezing rain right in here. And again, these areas may see some still, even though it's not showing up well here. Snow up here to the north and northwest, though, where it's going to be cold enough that it should be mostly snow. There may be a few spots that get a little bit of sleet mixed in there. Let's go through the afternoon hours here. And again, notice probably still rain, but maybe some freezing rain in here. All rain to the southeast, some thunderstorms in the far southeast. There may be thunder and lightning in here. It's not out of the question. And still snow to the north and northwest. But watch as we move into the evening hours. That's when things turn a little more dire into this evening. This is when the bulk of the moisture starts to lift into the area. Still rain or freezing rain. Probably not too much snow yet in the Tri-Cities. Rain to the southeast, some thunderstorms. There's a better chance of maybe some thunder, lightning and thunder within here as we get into this evening and overnight. And then mostly snow to the north and west. This is where we're starting to talk some heavier snow right here. And a transition to snow in the Tri-Cities area. Freezing rain to snow right here. Still some rain to the southeast. Significant icing could be going on right in here. Heavy snow, 1 to 2 inches per hour, and a little bit of blowing snow as well. Once we get past midnight here, and the arrow's going to be going away here, but after midnight there's some heavier snow, and this is probably where the snow really dumps in north central Nebraska with the systems right here. And the Tri-Cities, it's pretty much all snow by this point. Eastern Nebraska, rain changing to freezing rain, and then eventually snow. So tomorrow morning, here's our low kind of right in this area here. We're mostly now looking at snow by tomorrow morning, and blowing snow possible because of the winds being a little stronger now tomorrow morning. Winds are going to be a little stronger on Tuesday, so some blowing snow, a possibility as snow starts to wrap up from west to east as we go through the day. By the end of the afternoon, we're down to just a little snow left in the northeast. So quieter weather than Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. All right, let's start off first with the icing event, the ice side of things here, where we could see some pretty significant ice. 1/10 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch right in here is a possibility. But then northeast Nebraska, I think we could see some places 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of icing, maybe even worse over into Iowa. So again, we're talking about some fairly significant icing. And as that wind begins to pick up overnight tonight and especially into tomorrow morning, power outage issues become a bigger issue. With the weight of that ice on power lines and tree limbs and the wind starting to move those around, breaking branches, power lines could possibly come down. Power outages are a possibility. Now, areas that are going to get more snow are going to be up here to the north and west, but on the edge of that, there may be some places that get some icing before the snow comes, but then on top of that, here comes the snow. And again, here's what we're going to be looking at. Certainly, the heaviest snows in the northern and northwestern parts of the Local 4 viewing area. And we're talking about significant snow. A foot and a half of snow. There are some models that are hinting at over 2 feet of snow in parts of northern Nebraska with this system here. That's a significant snow. Now, the blowing snow is not going to be quite as bad as what they saw in the Panhandle and Cherry County a couple of weeks ago. Some blowing snow, some drifting, but we're not talking about significant drifting of snow like what we had a couple of weeks ago in those areas. That said, you're still going to be digging out from a lot of snow. Ainsworth, I'll call it right now, 1 to 2 feet of snow for your area. O'Neill, I'm going to say 12 to 18 inches. Thedford, a foot or two of snowfall. North Platte, 6 to 10 inches is where I'm leaning right now. McCook, Imperial, I'd say 5 to 9. Tri-Cities area, 1 to 4 is kind of where I'm leaning right now. But there's going to be a significant drop off to the southeast. Very little snow out of the system here. Again, so don't focus too much on the numbers. And the problem is with those numbers is that a few miles can make a big difference. That's why I don't want to focus too much on the numbers. All the models are a little bit different from each other. I'm showing you the one I most agree with, which is the European forecast model. So again, impacts from snow, slick road conditions, plus there may be some ice underneath that as well. Minor issue, but there is a severe weather threat for later today in southeastern portions of the Nebraska. It's kind of on the very edge of our viewing area, but I did want to mention the marginal risk. That said, most of our area may get general lightning and thunder with this stuff, especially later today and into tonight. Some lightning and thunder embedded within the freezing rain, the sleet, and the snow. This is a much more significant issue off to our southeast where there are slight and enhanced risks of severe weather down there. All right, to temperatures. The temperature profile, very important today because, again, if you're above freezing, most of you are probably just seeing liquid, maybe some snow, and that'd be more towards like North Platte and those areas here where it's briefly above freezing this morning. But for most of you that are above freezing, it's going to be the southeast where it's mostly going to be rain. But watch the Tri-Cities, because if it gets up around 33, 34, that's important because then it could be more rain than freezing rain right there. But to the north and west of that, freezing rain and sleet and snow in those locations. And then eventually, most of us will drop below freezing tonight other than the far southeast part of the state, and then it'll be a little colder out there. So these are your official highs I'm going with for today. No. Those are highs. Some of those are highs from earlier today. I take that back. Let me change this real quick. I apologize. I did not adjust this because I didn't use this graphic on my morning show. So I forgot to adjust the Tri-Cities temperatures. This is the forecast highs for today. Okay? So barely above freezing in the Tri-Cities. But even out west, North Platte, mid-30s. But most of the day is going to be in the lower 30s, actually, and maybe even upper 20s by the end of the day. Tonight we'll drop back into the 20s for the most part, maybe some low and mid-30s in eastern, southeast Nebraska, but most of us will drop back into the 20s. Tomorrow, as the snow is starting to wind down from west to east through the day, we'll see highs mid-20s up north to the mid-30s in the southeast. Tomorrow night, a little colder, teens and lower 20s for overnight lows, and then jumping into Wednesday, 20s and 30s for highs. This time, your warmest temperatures in the southwest. I'll be honest with you, I did not throw a lot of effort into the long-range forecast because, one, there's not a lot going on long-range, and two, there's so much focus on the next day and a half or so. So again, for the Tri-Cities, today during the daytime hours, rain and freezing rain, depending on that temperature. If it's 33, it's rain. 32 or colder, freezing rain. Probably not much snow today during the daytime hours. Mostly freezing rain this evening in the Tri-Cities, but around or by 10, 11, and 12 o'clock, then it's starting to change, mix with and change to snow, and a little bit of heavier snow is possible, especially after midnight tonight, and some of that lingering snow through the day tomorrow, mainly in the morning hours, some wind blowing that snow around as well. And again, Tri-Cities, 1 to 4 inches of snow. I focus the lower amount towards Hastings, higher towards GI and Kearney with this event. After that, it's pretty quiet weather beyond tomorrow. 20s again on Wednesday, then low and mid 30s for Thursday, Friday. A little colder again on Saturday with some breezier winds, and then Sunday back into the mid 30s. Long range real quick here. This is the last graphic I'll show you for today here. I know it's a very complicated forecast, but it's the last graphic I want to show you, and that is the 10-day forecast here as we push through all the way to the 11th of January at this point. It does look like a little bit of a warming trend beyond our 7-day forecast, so we're talking as we get into next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll talk about temperatures maybe slightly above average. So with that, I'm going to let you all go. If you have any questions on anything in the forecast, if anything is too confusing, please contact me. My information is at the bottom of your screen there if you need to contact me on my Local 4 Facebook page. The best way to get a hold of me at that Twitter handle right there, at Travis_Klinetsky. That's where I'm most likely to answer questions right away. I want to thank you all for watching on this Monday morning. I will see you all again on Tuesday as we're kind of winding down this storm system. Stay safe out there today and especially tonight. And I'll see you all again on Tuesday. Take care. God bless. Bye.